You are supposed to be you. That's why they're interested in you. If you're usually a loud, psychotic person like Soph and I, play it cool. Don't be too clingy, right? But like be your energy that you usually are. That's why you're sitting on the date with this person in the first place.
If you're faking it, like that's not who you are, then they're going to find out. And then you're constantly on edge in the relationship regardless. So like be you from day one.
What if you remind them of somebody that they didn't really like or they've been in a relationship with because you're not being you and assuming what they want? Don't be that. Don't do that. It always fails in the end. You know what I want to do?
What?
Never mind.
Record. Say it on the record. Say it on there. What do you want to do? We're starting.
Skibby scabby.
We are
skibbity scoop.
starting the episode right this second. Are we good?
I want
Yes,
to buy
everything's
you
gone.
a drink.
What do you want to do besides buy me a drink after this? We
I'm gonna
need
take
one.
you home with me.
I got money in the bank.
I was
Shawty,
singing-
what you think
I
about-
sang today and I go, Jordan, I'm not gonna quit my job to sing. And he goes, I wouldn't, babe. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm terrible.
Where did that accent come from? I wouldn't, babe.
I wouldn't, babe. I wouldn't, babe. Thank you very much.
Did you want to say something before we started?
No, it was dumb.
It wasn't.
Okay?
It wasn't supposed to be recorded.
Nope, it was
Okay,
not.
so we'll move on from that one.
We're scooting forward. We're scooting onward.
skedaddling forward.
I'm not gonna lie, velvet is so Christmas.
Yes, it is.
I thought to myself, I said, oh God, should I wear a little velvet for a Christmas episode? And I go, yeah, I should.
Do you think this will go out before Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It will.
I didn't even think about that. Shit.
Yes,
It will. It will.
We
I think
all
this goes
come-
out on the 23rd.
Yes,
Okay.
it does, and we're
Yeah.
gonna be lovely on the 23rd. By the way, I hope you liked our episode last week about I almost said rumors. It's called
Rebounds.
I'm like, what the hell? Okay, how are we doing?
Yeah, I listened back to it and I didn't think, sometimes you feel a certain way about certain things.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I didn't do my best. Or I was like, okay, it was pretty good. I thought it was great. It was good.
It was good. I will say, you guys, if you're listening right now, really quick, please go rate and subscribe and leave
Review.
a review if you can. That would be amazing on Apple Podcasts. And just support us if you can. That's a huge support for us. So we appreciate you when you do it.
We
And
don't
if
ask-
you can, go do it.
Yes, and we don't ask this often, especially we haven't
No.
lately. So we're not going to overwhelm your ears every single episode at the beginning saying that. So if you're listening right now and you haven't, please go consider it. It has to be on the Apple Podcast app. 5-star review. Love you guys. Appreciate
I
it.
want to flag something as you're listening too. We will not have an episode the first week of January because we are taking a break, dog.
Fuck yeah!
We need to sit down.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's just say this really quick. What are you looking forward to in 2023? Just keep it, low key. But what do you, even for the podcast or us or whatever it is?
I love this. I haven't even sat down to think about that yet because
know.
I've been waiting for our 2 weeks off of this podcast to be able to think a little bit more. So I don't even know if I have an answer yet. I mean, I could kind of reflect as we chit chat here, but you go first.
I think I'm excited to actually restart, even though I know that I could restart from today.
Yep.
My week is fucking insane right now. So I'm I'm going to restart in the next week. I'm going to probably do it the weeks that we have off. And I'm just going to prioritize the things that I want to do. And Jordan pointed this out too. And I was like, okay, you're right. Well, I need to prioritize the things that I want to do before I say yes to everything.
Yep.
Because I want to make people feel supported. So I'm like, okay, even though I really would love to support everybody, I need to just make sure that I'm doing the things that are going to push me and propel me forward to be set up for success.
Okay. I have
you know what I mean?
I have devil's advocate for you.
Okay.
You've been saying this since day one that you're going to say no,
Yeah.
set your boundaries.
Well, I have,
How are you going to hold yourself accountable? For
I
this
do
2023?
actually.
You have been, yeah.
but I need to do it more. So
Yeah.
I've just been slowly scaling back of nope, I
Yep.
can't do that. Nope,
One-
I can't hang out in the week. Nope, sorry.
Love that. One
but
step at a time.
One step at a time. Now it's more the mindset of what is going to make me successful in the future that I could be spending my time with instead. So instead of being nah, I need to just sit and chill tonight, it's going to be yeah, I'm going to sit and chill on Wednesday, but on Thursday I'm going to work on podcast merch and website creation because that will propel us to where we want to be, if that makes sense. So I'm
Yeah.
rethinking how I think about it.
Yes.
And I think that'll make it much more clear for myself of I'm doing it because I want to put myself forward and have a chill night the night before.
and doable.
Boom. Yeah. And very tangible things.
As you were talking, I actually realized I'm a little opposite, I think,
Really?
to that right now. Is I feel like I do everything yeah, like for other people, for my future connections, friends, everything has to do with like, okay, well, if we're going to hang out, let's make this a meeting. If we're going to do this, you know, so because my time is so sacred lately and I'm like, I'm going to just like double whammy, kill two birds with one stone. This new year, want to focus more on what you do often is like, you know, focus on the family and the friends and find relationships is I guess both of us just find a little bit of a better balance, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
We can like feed off each other with that. I like that
exactly.
a lot, actually.
We'll help each other then.
I know. But for 2023 for the pod, new merch, new website, money.
I was going to say new agency.
new stuff like that. Probably an event here or there that is going to be like nothing like we've ever done before. Hopefully a trip to LA. Yes, please.
Yes, mama.
And new ideas. New ideas and new big guests.
Yes.
I'm excited.
And I don't know why I just got
Sorry
this
for that
like
noise.
overwhelming feeling of thankfulness, but like Ben, thank you for everything you've been doing so far this year. We wouldn't have come this far this year if it weren't for you.
Not even close.
We love you, baby.
I love you too.
We love you.
Benny boo boo.
Our Benny boo.
Okay, today's going to be like, I feel like I have a lot to say. So let's get into some straight Candid moments.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Fuck. And then I was like, I have a lot to say. And now I'm like,
You go, oh God.
Okay, my straight Candid moment this week, a moment that made me feel more human or connected or humbled. And it just it made me laugh. And I just feel like other girls can relate to this. So I work out at a gym nearby and I was lifting. I was in the bathroom. I've made some friends there because we see each other lift every single day. So I'm in the bathroom. This girl comes in. She's like, I have a UT fucking eye. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
I love that she just told you that. She's just like, whatever.
Well, she struts in like head down, like ready to pee. She's like, I have a UTI. I'm like, oh no. So we start chatting and it's just me and her in the locker room, we thought. And I'm like, okay, because I knew she was seeing this new guy. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys had sex. I knew that. She told me. And I was like, did you use lube or anything? Because I have realized this is the theory I have and I want to share it with people.
All right, go ahead.
All the girls that use lube during sex, I'm like, do you get UTIs often? They're like, no, not really. Like yeast infections, UTIs, not really. I have always used lube because I'm always really like, I even remember like one night stands, I would hide lube. I would stick it up.
Oh my God. I remember your story in your
I
purse.
would secretly always have lube. Like if a guy wanted a blowjob, I'd be like, close your eyes. I'd quick grab lube and put it on his dick and then I would have sex. Like I always had lube.
That was so fast. I was like,
sorry.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I've never had a UTI or yeast infection. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then she goes, no, I didn't use lube. And I'm like, And then this other girl pops into the conversation.
Oh.
She was back in the locker room. She goes, oh yeah, lube will help with that because it creates, like, if you don't use it, even if it feels good, you're still not wet enough and it creates micro tears and you're more susceptible to bacteria and yeast infections and UTIs. And I was like, interesting. And then it was funny. She goes, oh, also you have to, she doesn't know any of us, by the way. She just butted into this conversation, which is why it was funny.
Classic.
She goes, I'm sorry I'm eavesdropping. She goes, but also have you heard of boric acid pills? And the girl's like, I haven't. So boric acid pills apparently are really helpful for UTIs and you take them. That's just my little health tip of the day.
Okay, we love a little healthy tip.
Yeah, especially with
God.
vaginal health.
I was
right?
gonna say that what's it called? Cranberry pills are supposed to help too.
Oh.
They've helped me when I used to get like UTIs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say boric acid pills are literally suppositories.
Can I just
you put it up there?
Sorry. I was like, I'm thinking of like, what can you put in your mouth? I will say for anybody listening who's unsure, maybe you're a guy, a UTI is a urinary tract infection. It is not a vaginal infection. It is on your vagina,
not an STD.
But it's not an STD or a situation down there. It's literally from holding your pee, bacteria, blah, blah, blah.
It's actually, dude, it's
not where,
dudes, it's actually your fault. So.
It might be your problem. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So anyway,
moving on. And then the other thing I wanted to.
What? No, I'm not reading it. No, it's too small. Wait.
Don't look at it.
What does that say?
Shit, I have a screenshot on my phone. I'm going to end this live.
Oh, no.
Sorry, you guys. Okay,
I'm scared.
So you know Instagram's new feature.
Oh,
like
no.
The little notes. The little notes.
Yes,
you know
but why did I know the name that you wrote down and I'm nervous now.
Sorry, I took so many selfies before this. Excuse me.
Then she looks in the mirror and she goes, ooh.
I was like, ooh.
Okay, anyway.
Okay. Confidence is key right now because I'm not feeling too hotty hot.
Hey, do your thing.
Body changes. God. Okay, so the new Instagram feature where it's like you put like a 60 characters emojis of like what you're doing. One, I think it's dumb, but I'm like, whatever. And I haven't really used it. Not many people have used it yet, but I'm literally the first person that pops up using this feature lately, I see Sid's dad, Marty. And this is what it says.
No, please, God.
I fucking love you, Marty. He goes, yeehaw, cowboy emoji. From Texarkana.
Texarkana, that's where he is.
Texarkana.
Oh my God.
I just thought, yeehaw, cowboy
My
emoji.
dad
I
also-
just love it that he is so savvy.
He's so tech savvy. It's crazy. I never had to help him with his phone. He would literally be like, stop, you're holding it weird. Go quicker, go faster. And like does his phone.
I wish.
He used to take my mom's phone out of her hand. He goes, I'm just going to text for you. What do you want to say? Because he couldn't wait. He was like, you're moving way too slow. He's like, nope. I got to do it for you. He also has terrible ADHD, by the way. So that's probably part of it too. He's like, you're not moving fast enough. Gotta hurry. Gotta go. Gotta see someone else.
Is it not the most irritating thing to watch your mom try to like use her phone though? Oh my God.
She is so slow. I love you, Mama, but holy hell. If you're trying to get to the camera, it's like max 2 clicks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where you're going in the stream of clicks, like into messages and out. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I have to suppress everything in me to not rip it aggressively out of her hands and just fucking say, oh my God, I can fucking do it. Like,
do you know how many times I've taught my mom how to put a story on?
Oh my God.
Like on her. She's like, well, did you tag me in it? I'm like, yes, I tagged you. You got to go look at, well, where's the story? I don't see it. I go, that was 3 days ago, Mom. That means it disappeared. Okay. So we're going to do it again. I'll post it again. And then I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, I don't know. I don't want to put it on there. I don't know if I want it on there. I'm like, what? Okay.
Or she thinks your story, you directly sent that image to her.
Yep.
My mom does that all the time. Oh, remember that thing you sent me? I'm like, what? I didn't say. Well, yeah, you sent it on Instagram. I'm like, Mom, that was on my story. Like, I don't get it. I really don't.
I
get
love
it.
my mom. Our moms are so cute though. Also, whenever I think of them, I think about the live boat episode and them waving from the pontoon, just like, hey girls, in their Candid clothes. Like, are you kidding me?
They're
so cutest people.
Cute.
Oh my God.
It just reminded me of, because I was like, I just put on my Instagram, like moms are so innocently, like, I was going to say stupid, but like just that's not what I mean. Innocently
unaware, maybe?
Unaware, because they're just from a different generation.
What word were you going to use?
I'm trying to think of it, but it's like almost like aloof.
Yes,
like,
aloof.
Like
yes.
things are happening and you're just like,
they're like, la, la,
and
la, la.
I posted
what's Google? What's my
so
Apple
cute.
ID password?
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't know.
This is my mom. And I love her. I actually got some of this, so I need to get better about this. But she'll go, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. Like, salmon sounds good. Oh, yeah, we could do that. Or I was thinking something else. And I'm like, do you not want salmon? No, I could do salmon. I'm like, well, if you want something else, you just got to use your words. And, no, that sounds pretty good, I guess. Or I don't know. I'm like, oh my God, just tell me what you want, woman. Like, I love you, but God dang it.
it must be like because my mom does the same thing. And I'm just like, dude, if you want something, why did you even ask me?
I mean,
Yeah,
think
exactly.
about, you
I'm
guys
like-
think about their generation when they're growing up though. Like, women were very like careful with their options and their
that's very
opinions.
true.
Like, no wonder why. But this is why I brought it up, is because why they're so I don't know how we got in this conversation, but I posted a TikTok.
Yeah.
And it ended up getting like 1 million views.
Whoa, what?
Because
there you go.
this is what my mom wanted to put on my
I saw
goddamn
this.
Christmas card, okay? We have a family Christmas card. Never once has she put our boyfriends on there, but like she must actually, like, she really loves,
Maybe it's
like,
because you guys live together and it's also just totally different.
yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
It is totally different.
So-
I'm older, I'm more mature, and she's like, oh, she just loves him. But this is,
Oh, Pat.
she sends me she goes, okay, need your approval.
Oh, I saw
Okay, ready? I'm going to read it for y'all. Sophie and Pat are doing well and both are working hard. They have lots of the same interests and laugh together a lot. That is.
I'm so uncomfortable. If I read that, I'd be like, what does that mean?
And the comments
laugh a
were
lot.
the most savage thing. Like, you can't convince me a robot didn't write that. Like, and I respond to my mom. I go, okay, no, absolutely not.
You guys laugh a lot, don't you? That's what your family's going to say when they see you. You guys still laughing? Oh,
That's
you
like-
laughing a lot?
That's like when people are like, AI is going to take over the world. It's so crazy. And then it's like the AI. And that's like,
I know, it's like,
they laugh a lot together.
yeah,
Like,
literally, yeah. It's like, okay, good job. Nope, not happening. Oh my God.
Anyways, that was a long moment. Okay, your turn.
I don't even I had one and then it's flying out the window.
Wait,
I
really
know,
quick.
shit. I just lost it. Holy crap.
While
okay,
you're
you go.
thinking,
Wait.
think about it real quick. I wanted to bring up, so the notes are really funny because they're only shown to like people who like you're like mutuals with that you follow and follow
so
back.
it's not just random.
No. It's.
So I was like, I don't want any fucking more random DMs. I'm not gonna add that shit.
Well, here's the thing: is
shit.
I
didn't know
was
that.
like every time I open up my DMs now, I'm like, holy fuck, I forgot this person existed, and like I kind of go and like stalk them for a second. I'm like, should I like? I don't even talk to you.
Like, where you been at?
I was like, I haven't seen, like, I follow people who I went to like high school with that I wasn't even close with in high school. And like this girl popped up and I was like, who the fuck is this? And then I'm like looking, it's like, she's like married, has kids. And I was like,
okay.
It's like
why?
Facebook.
It
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
is. Wait, that's for sure what they're trying to do, though. That's for sure what they are trying to do. I will say it's weird because since Instagram shows you what it thinks you want to see, I miss like entire people's lives that I like should know about. Like, but I don't go and I'm like, oh, maybe for you guys, maybe. But I'm like, what's Ben doing? Like, I've never done that with like someone random, really. And so I'll go to their page and it's like, pregnant again. I'm like, what the hold on. Last time I saw you, you were at the Loop, okay? So like partying your ass off.
You were at
like,
Deja Vu.
yeah, so what's going on here? Huh?
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
no, okay, so straight candid moment for me. I don't really have anything other than I'm going into a Christmas that's going to be the hardest one ever, probably, because of my grandma passing. So what I'm just talking about now is like just with my family of like, what new traditions do we want to start, or what ones do we want to carry on through this year for grandma in her memory? It's weird because I feel like she's so close, but if you've gone through a loss, it's like they're kind of fading away. And that's like the worst part about it. It's almost like you get sadder because you feel more distant from their memory, if that makes sense. And
or even like, I mean, I can't really relate, but like more sad because you're not thinking about them as much as you want to because you're trying to move on. But then you're like, should I move on? But should I not?
Yeah. And it just makes you sad. It makes me sad that I remember the last memories of her were so sad and like weak. And that was my favorite part of Christmas. Was going to her house in the mornings on Christmas Day and having brunch, and it kicked oh my God, why was I going to say kicked my ass? It killed me because one day she ordered KFC for a Christmas brunch. I thought that was hilarious. She ordered KFC for a Christmas brunch.
That's
I'm like, you savage. She's like, what? It's high cholesterol, my ass. Who cares? That's what she said. I'm like, oh my God, Grandma, I love you.
it.
So we're just going to figure out new traditions and do new things, but it is hard because it leaves me to be the one that everyone leans on for what's the plan? Like, what are we doing? We want to work around your schedule. I'm like, no, I have all Christmas off. Like, I'm not doing anything. Like, people do that so that you'll plan it. And like, that's a bad habit. I like always lean in for everybody. So I'm just trying to find a balance with that. Trying to find a balance of like, how do we keep our family together? Because she was a connected link for that side of the family. So it's just very hard. It's hard right now.
Don't put all that. I feel like you shouldn't put all that weight on yourself to make the plans. Like, I think you should message like your mom and your sister and the rest of your family. Like, hey y'all, I hope everyone can step it up so we can continue. Like,
I agree.
You know, like I'm busy, you're busy, but like, let's all pick something and plan it. Like each one, something to make sure. But
I like that a lot.
Thanks for sharing.
I was going to say the exact same thing. So.
Do you
stole from me?
Do you have any straight candid moments, Benny Boo?
Well, just really quick, I wanted to say about like, because you were talking about like, oh, like, you know, the memory fade and like, should you fade it? I remember one of the craziest conversations I had with my grandpa was like a year and a half before he died. He was talking about like, when I die. And it was a very uncomfortable situation because like I didn't want to think about it. But he was like, when I die, I don't want you to dwell on it. I want you to like, you have to continue living your life. And like in a lot of ways, I'm going to continue living through you, even if you're not thinking about me all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
like that.
your grandma sounds very similar to that.
She definitely would have said that if she was here.
Like if she's here, she would be so proud of everything that you do every day and how much you've grown the podcast. And like, I have no doubt in my mind that, you know, she wouldn't want you to be dwelling on it. She'd want you to
true.
keep going with everything that you're doing.
No, that's true.
It
is hard that she's not listening though to the podcast, like
Maybe.
outright. She is likely, right? But it's like she always gave me feedback, whether it was positive or negative. Let's just put it that way. But she was listening and she was so excited. And she would tell her coffee group and like just all the things. So it's just one of those times when you get close to the holidays. I think we talked about this a little bit, but it's like, it is hard. Like it's not all butterflies and rainbows having time off. And honestly, sometimes time off is more stressful too because I'm just getting less time to do the things that I know need to get done too. It's like, God, adulting is ass.
We did talk about this in a few episodes ago, though,
Yeah.
like how to find that balance over the holidays and how do you want to feel going in January 1st? Do you want to feel refreshed or do you want to feel like you got shit done? Like, for me, I'm going to not be working. So, and I'm not going to get shit done and I want to feel refreshed January 1st, but maybe part of that, your refreshing would be, I have this to do and I want to do it, you know?
Yep.
So we'll go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
Okay, let's keep it going.
Yeah,
Ben, straight Candid moments.
I don't really have a straight Candid moment for this week. Sorry, guys. I was
It's
bored
okay,
this week.
Ben.
I took a little vacay.
You went
I
to
was just-
Chicago though.
Yeah, but I literally just like laid around, did nothing. I would work for like 2 or 3 hours every day and then just like,
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Laid around, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Okay, anyway, we got a good episode today. I'm excited for this because it's about the games.
The games when you're dating. And honestly, I used to believe hardcore in the games. Like, oh, you got to play hard to get, got to do this, got to do that.
Same. Are you
You
kidding
know,
me?
especially like when the Call Her Daddy era came out, I feel like the entire dating pool changed because people were just like, it was so savage. And I think the reason why we want to talk about this is because I think there's still certain yes and no's and to-dos and tactics to getting a guy or a girl to like you. And I'll be honest, this is for single people, single ladies more specifically. Yes, you could take this into if you're a guy listening, but I kind of like prepped for this thinking of single women who are maybe in college or you have a friends with benefits that you want to, you know, progress. You see this random guy at the gym you want to flirt with. So we're going to chat about like how to be more attractive to them and for yourself, right? How to get them to like you, how to flirt, things like that.
All the things.
All the things.
Oh, I just can think of my little young self going on dates and
flirting.
just doing the most and playing the games and just being so like not me. And
Right.
weird how none of those worked out.
Right?
Like, not being myself. Anyway.
Do you think you're a good good at flirting?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
100%. Oh my God, that was so cocky.
No, I fucking love
I was
that.
like, absolutely. Yes,
I was
am.
literally gonna say like not to toot my own horn, but like I know how to fucking flirt.
Well, I think it's sometimes it can come off as a negative because I've been told like, well, you were flirting with them. And I'm like, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm just being myself. And then I'm like, shit.
Or
I'm flirty, aren't I?
but you know
Dang
what?
it.
Or is it just because you're conventionally attractive and you're talking to someone with a smile? Is that considered flirting?
Probably.
Do you know what I fucking
Yeah,
mean?
maybe. Yeah,
So-
for somebody that's a little bit insecure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also like one time I was maybe talking to somebody apparently flirting. I think I was just talking to them, but you know.
Sid flirts with me during this podcast.
I do. I touch her
She
and then I
literally-
tickle her and I go like this.
Like
on the
sometimes
floor.
I get the feels because like she will like no it is such a good way to flirt like
you go,
this
sometimes
is-
I get the feels.
This is what she does. She's talking to me. She's making eye contact with me, forgetting about the cameras, and she leans into me and she like is grazing my fucking shoulder, and I'm like, oh, okay.
You guys write that down. Write
Verbal,
that down.
nonverbal cue is right there. You
Ooh,
know? Okay.
write that down.
Okay, continue.
But I was talking to somebody. No, I just forgot. But I remember the person I was dating was standing behind me. And I wasn't really being aware because also, no offense, I was excited to see this person. Like, sorry, I was a little bit like, woo. And we talked for a second and then I'm like, okay, see you later. And it was a distant circle person. And the person I was dating was like, why did you not introduce me? And I was like, oh, sorry. I don't know. I'm like, sorry, it was kind of awkward. It was quick. And I also, you don't really need to know this person. Like, there's somebody they're not even in my circle. And they were so mad. They're like, you were being flirty. Da, 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 da. Turns out the other guy was very attractive. So I have a feeling that added to the elements.
yes,
Made it a little bit more
absolutely.
angry. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Also, I got to put my hand down because I'm going crazy with my hand movements.
Shit, I got so encapsulated. I was like, what was I talking about? Because I had something to say after this. But I was just gonna say, I think when I was here we are. When I was single, yeah, I fucking love flirting.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if I didn't really like the person, I would flirt all the time. All the time. So we're gonna
God.
share some tactics and shit. What? Do you have something?
I'm just thinking of all the times I was flirting and I just had zero intention to do
Yeah.
anything.
Anything?
I don't know why.
You wanted a drink or whatever
just
the
like,
hell.
It was just fun to flirt and like be like,
In
oh my
college?
God, like maybe we'd make out, maybe we won't. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. And you should have that little like fun vibe sometimes. Why not? Have
Also,
a stage.
I just remember one time I was at Sally's Saloon, LOL. And in college, it's just like a college bar. And I was like, we were flirting up at the bar and we ended up like, that was somebody I ended up going home with or whatever. But we knew each other for a long time. So the tension was built up. But I didn't give a flying F who was around me, whatever was going on. I was just like using the cues and touching the leg and doing all the things, and it worked out. We are not together at this point. I will tell you that we are not together, but it's fun to flirt and not give a crap.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the games. We'll talk about the flirting, all the things.
Should we
go ahead.
Maybe we should start with flirting. I was going to do that at the end, but I might start with it now.
Let's start it. Go into it.
Okay. So I think the number one thing for flirting that kind of like gets me hooked in a little bit is when guys do this, is more so, and I think guys like this too. Ben, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but be playful and don't take yourself too seriously. There's just been so many times where guys are just like trying to brag about something, or it's just way too fucking serious. Like, be silly. Tell them that you put on, you know, not matching socks, or like you sleep with socks on. I don't fucking know, but like a little bit self-deprecating, I guess.
Like, just kind of make it playing fun with themselves.
Like, I hate when people are just too serious when they're trying to flirt.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
No. Hello, who's calling? Your mother. Oh my God, cute though. As we were talking about moms, I like that though that you call that out, because I remember a lot of like athlete guys too coming up and they like act like stand kind of tall and be like, oh yeah, what's up? And they're like, your friend tells you, oh, that guy likes you. And I'm like, he likes me? He doesn't even talk to me. What are you talking about? He doesn't even look at me. He's never even acknowledged anything about me. How would he like me? It's like, be a little bit funky. Like, I don't know, even for girls on the other side of flirting, it's like, be a little fun, like poke fun at them, like bumps people. Don't be afraid to hug too. I think that's something I used to be really awkward about, because I didn't like physical touch. It's like, if they're your friend, give them a hug, let them know that you're inviting them in. And even if it feels kind of funny, like, you know, you probably have a cocktail in you if you're going out, or maybe you don't and you're just getting there, hugs, just invite people in and let them know that like, hey, like, I kind of like you. Like, you're my person. Like, you're in my circle. I give you a hug when I see you. It just adds a little bit of like a cushion. Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe that's different for guys, Ben. I'm like, maybe this is crazy that we even think about this, but.
Well, I think it's also like very, I feel like when there's flirting, like, it's almost like the guy has to prove himself to more than the girl. Like, I feel like girls are just more picky with it, you know, unless they want something from them, like a drink or something. Like, if you're actually flirting with someone, the guy kind of is expected to like carry the conversation a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
At least that's from my perspective. When
I don't think so. I think if I liked a guy and he's flirting with me, like, I want to make sure I'm like engaged, right? Like, to the combo for sure. Like, if the girl is being a little stuck up and not carrying the conversation, she probably doesn't like you. And she's
exactly.
She's not flirting back.
Which it makes it very difficult. And then you're like, well, anyway, this has been really fun. I gotta go because awkward.
I want to share something that Sid was just talking about, because I creeped on this girl on TikTok, and like, I'm gonna reference some of her thoughts, because she is a relationship therapist and she bases it around psychology and like why we think the way we do. And Sid was talking about, oh, like, don't like be too cool to go up to them and like give them a hug. Yeah. So she was explaining this thing called reciprocal liking. So you should act excited and don't play too cool when they like walk into the room, and don't just wait for them to come up to you. You have to let them know that you're genuinely excited and that you can't wait to say hi. You have to treat it like this special connection. She says our brains are very psychologically primed to like people more who seem to like us and think we are a good human. They feel safe and seen. And I'm like, I feel like in college, I remember liking guys and like walking into parties, and I would always, this was my go-to, I would go up to them, give them a huge hug, smile really big, act so fucking excited to see them, chat with them for a little bit. Yep. Oh my God. And then I would walk away. And then walk away. And not only walk away, I would give other men a lot of attention. Oh. After I was talking and being really friendly with them. So they're looking and they have this like little instinct like, oh, well, okay, well, why should I? And then they're like, and that is when I feel like they would lock it down, because I was just like dancing around, making sure they were giving. Well, I was getting so excited.
You were like, and then I was, like, and then I was,
and then
and then I came around the corner and I saw him and I clenched my butt cheeks so hard. It
was like I was on the prowl.
I'm wheezing. You progressively got closer to the camera too, and then all I'm doing is picturing you run around in that little house, a little frat house.
I can't stop.
I will. Oh, wow. Squeeze
I've been
holy hell.
trying to make noise when I laugh because someone commented on Instagram was like, "Oh, Sophie, you do laugh." And I was like, "What?"
Wait, excuse me.
She goes, "When you laugh really hard, you're just silent."
Okay,
And
same
so
though.
now I'm like, ha ha.
And then you go, ha la 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 la.
Have you seen the comments where people are like, I think Ben just thinks everything is funny because he's
Yes.
always I'm
Yes,
like,
but it's like validation for us, okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Damn
yeah.
it.
It's like the laugh track. We need
It
it.
is.
I
We
got
need
you.
it. It's like a bad sitcom. No, I'm not gonna lie. That one I played that game a little bit too of like, you know, talking to them first and then kind of walking around. This is what bugged me though, is the flirting of like they wait. Let's say you don't see them first. Okay.
Yep.
So you come into a gathering, it could be a bar, could be wherever, whatever. And you're walking around, you're having a good night, you've had a few cocktails, and you're like, I wonder if they're here. And they're like, oh, hey, they come up to you and they're like, I saw you when you walked in. And you're like,
Sick.
you saw me. Oh, okay. Yeah, I showed up. I came. Yep. It's like, why didn't you come up to me?
Yeah.
And then I'm more irritated when in reality, I know that maybe in a guy or a gal, whoever's doing it perspective, they're like trying to play it a little cool. And it's like, that's actually like maybe not the right reason or way why and when to play cool. You know what I mean? It's like, come up to me.
And I
Let me
feel
know you're
like-
interested. Otherwise, I think you don't like me and you don't want to see me at the party.
You can play cool, but after he were to like literally see you right away, give you a big hug, twirl you around, like pick you up, have so much,
Ooh,
like
that's
literally
fun.
just like so fucking excited to see you.
Yeah.
It's like that reciprocal liking feeling. And then do your own thing. And then at the end of the night, you know, who knows? You come back together.
Who knows what happens?
Who knows?
Who knows?
She
You might
also
hit it at
said-
the dance floor. And
So that was her number one, reciprocal liking, to like more. And then she
I
also
like
said,
that.
talk about similarities, obviously. Like, you can be like, hey, like, we're in the same shoes. Or like, oh, like, I don't fucking know. Oh, both of our fathers.
same shoes.
Both of our fathers are alcoholics or
Oh,
whatever.
what? Oh my God. What the
She
hell
says-
just happened?
We unconsciously choose people that are somewhat similar to us, obviously, right?
You know who you choose to? People who are similar to your dad.
I choose opposite of my dad.
I do
actually.
too, though.
My sister chooses the same. And that's what's known as daddy
It's similar
issues,
or
right?
different, yeah. Because
Yeah.
they say usually you pick someone that looks a little bit like your dad, which I'm like, that's horrifying.
Mhm.
And then it's either like the exact or opposite of your dad. And Jordan is for sure the opposite of my dad.
Yep.
And then I think Pat probably is the opposite
Pat
of your dad.
is the exact opposite of my dad.
But then again, I'm like, wait, but Pat and Jordan are opposites.
Mm-hmm.
So then maybe
But we don't have the same dad.
Wait a
Or
minute.
do we?
Fuck. I'm the lady, the blonde lady with the equation behind her head. You know that meme?
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, keep going.
Last one she says is, if you're not in a relationship, you make goddamn sure you give other guys in the time of day. Protective instinct, like I was talking about, is usually the exact moment when they are like, okay, now I'll make the move. Or like,
yeah.
so those were the three. She
I liked
also
her
said,
tips though.
yeah, thanks. She also had three more. I'm going to quick share them. And
Yeah.
then that's pretty much like all the shit I have today. But so she was saying, so the attractive scale, the three that I just shared were about the likable scale, attractive scale. And I thought these were great tips. So number one is don't share your highlight reel with someone. So let someone else share your accomplishments for you. So for example, like if you're at your neighbor's barbecue or something and
Okay.
you see this really attractive guy and you're like chatting with them and you're like, oh yeah, what do you do for work? You don't know anything about them yet.
Yep.
And they're like, oh yeah, I'm a student. And you're like, oh cool, like whatever, you move on. But then you find out he's a PhD student at Harvard. You're
Yeah.
more, it's like all of a sudden it goes from like 0 to 100. They're like that much more attractive. So it's interesting to not,
the way it's presented.
don't brag about the accomplishments right off the bat. Let them find that out slowly because it will make you seem way more, likable in their eyes, because like other people are like, oh, well, she has a podcast. Yeah. But did you know that, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. But I was like, okay.
Interesting. I
And
like
then
that.
the other thing she mentioned was, if you don't know if this will happen, but you want them to know your accomplishments, have a friend do it. So you can literally designate a friend, be like, okay, yeah, he knows like this, but go tell him other shit about it.
Same at
like,
Sophie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. She's really nice. That's awesome. Yeah. You're a student, right? She's not. She's a badass. She has a job. Oh, just kidding. Like, how do you do it? I wouldn't know what to do. It'd
You
be awkward.
designate a friend like to go share your
Served.
accomplishments.
Wait, so this is almost just devil's advocate, but like, so let's say you're on a date, you
Okay.
tell them, I have a podcast. Do you not want to justify that it's like actually like a legit thing? Because you know how
I
it's
never do, though.
I
You know
never
what I'm
do.
saying?
I
You get
never
awkward.
do. I let them find out, which is why I really like dating Pat at first, is because He didn't follow me on Instagram. He didn't know anything about me. We met on Hinge. I didn't put my Instagram there. So like he didn't know who I was. And so like when I say I have a podcast, like sick, that sounds cool, whatever. But like, who cares if they're gonna judge you right off the bat if your podcast is legit or not? Anyways, you really want to be with them.
That's
so it's
facts.
like
Facts.
So like if you're
Straight
if you say, hey, I'm unemployed, and then you secretly are like some self-employed, yeah, like exactly. I don't know.
Like, whoa.
It would be a better thing to find out later.
It's like an extra little element of like, ooh, surprise and excitement, I think, in it. Okay.
This is fun because I do exactly that, but not because I want to be like mysterious or like whatever, but because I hate explaining to people what I do. I hate it. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I do X, Y, Z, like W, like everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? I hate talking about myself. I just make content. Like,
well, Ben, she also says a little bit of mystery.
Oh.
She says it's not like you never want them to know about you. Like you don't want to be like completely closed and don't share any emotions and anything about you. But it's important kind of in the early stages of talking to develop the initial attraction. Example.
Okay.
In a texting conversation, I dare you to be the first one to get the fuck out of there. Like literally say, gotta go, gotta head out, got something to do. And don't tell them exactly what you're doing. End the conversation first. You have other things happening. They don't know where you're going.
The hard part for me was that because I did that and I was like, okay, I know that like a little bit of distance is actually going to like help bring them in, which is, I'm like, oh, is that a game? Not really. It's just like,
it's a tactic.
It's a tactic, I suppose.
Not a game.
But I remember I would get so excited like later and then I'd know that they're going to be out or something. And I'm like, waiting for them to text me. And I'm like, hello. Then I just text them and be like, hey, are you going out? And then they'd tell me like, yeah, I've been waiting for you to text me. And I'm like, fucking God dang it. Why did I hold off? Like, why did I keep too much space between us when I could have just been being all out myself and being like, hey, where are you? What are you doing? But then again, that's probably a different level of the getting to know somebody. You know what I mean? Because I know that I want to see them and that they probably want to see me. Guessing at least.
I think that's a good point because like, yeah, sometimes you're like, okay, well, I was waiting for you. You were in for me. But I think in this circumstance, she was like saying like, you're having a good conversation. Like it's back and forth. And then you're like, okay, like I'm going to like, don't be so available, I guess. So like you can still double text, but like you were also the one who said you had to go earlier that day. Like, hey, gotta go. So now you're like just chill and you're like, hey, you're going out tonight. I'll be at Snuffy's. Like maybe Snuffy's. What?
Snuffy's Malt Shop.
Oh,
that place is good.
Where did that fucking come from?
Snuffy's Malt Shop. You guys, if you haven't gone,
Snuffy's.
Go get a burger there and a little malt.
I'll be at the Loop. Like, I hope I see you there, Winky. Like, you know, I feel like that's better. It's not like you have to play it that cool, but like still be unavailable maybe when you're talking on the phone or like that kind of thing. You feel?
It's a weird like mix because I remember seeing somebody and I remember they knew the person who like I don't know, owned a bar or something like that. And it was game day. And I was like, either I text them because they're not my boyfriend or anything. I text them asking them like, hey, can you get me in? But then it sounds kind of like I'm using them for something right off the bat. So I ended up waiting in line and I wanted to punch myself in the face. I ended up paying $40 to get in. I was so mad. Also, broke college kid, like don't have $40. I get in there, literally, he rolls up, he walks right in. He goes, oh my God, I didn't even know you were here. Why didn't you just text me to get you in? And I'm like, oh,
fuck.
Dang it. But I didn't want to, you don't want to come off like you're like needing something from them too. It's so hard. You got to be smart about what you're doing. But honestly, on that one, I probably should have just asked. But then again, I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that like needs something, you know, like I can do it my own. Of course, I'm like, I'm independent. I don't need you to get in. Okay.
It's
I'll
also
wait in the rain.
All about like confidence and the way you feel about the decision. Like if you're like, I'm going to wait in line because I want to be independent. But if you were literally like, you text him and you're like, hey bro, ... like kind of like duty, I don't know, like a little broy, like, hey bro, like LOL.
Bro, that just friend zoned him so hard.
LOL.
He's like,
I know, but that's kind of the point a little bit.
But I don't want him to be friend zoned.
So like, hey, ... I'm not using you, but is there any chance you low key and then high key, any chance you can get me in? Like something funny, a little, I don't know.
That's true, be playful.
I'm literally just thinking of like what I would do too, obviously. I'm trying to think of more scenarios. But
I would say what you mean when you're flirting. You know what I mean? Like say what you mean. Like that, I would say put me back. Did I tell you this the other day? Of like when I remember when I was dating.
I was like, what? I don't know.
Somebody and I went to I went to a situation. Let's just put it this way.
I love
don't
how you
wanna
have
give too
all
many
these
details.
situations.
I know. I'm like, are
this
they
is
weird?
good because no, they're great because it's
Okay.
like putting this into context.
Okay,
a little
good.
bit.
I'm like, if
No, I
I'm talking
love
too much,
this.
shut me up.
No.
I went to this, let's just call it a party. And all the women there were just dressed to the nines. And I was in my sneakers and my jeans.
Yes, you did
And
tell
I'm
me
like,
this.
I'm like, wow, I feel really young and I feel really awkward because I was dating someone who's a little bit older. And I was like, oh, like, I am not the vibe here. I don't fit in.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing like white sneaks, skinny jeans, and like a weird like top that I don't know. Don't ask. It's just interesting. It was like a fuzzy Sherpa jacket too when they weren't really in. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, and so I went home and I'm like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We lived far away from each other. So the next time I came back, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna pack a little spicier of an outfit. I'm gonna look the part for this. Okay, I'm gonna look for the part for this gathering
To fit in with the other girls.
To fit in with the other girls. Turns out, one, I wore something that made me feel so uncomfortable. Both of my heels broke on the way to there because I fell in the snow. I slipped, fell. Both my heels broke off. They had to like get people to find some super glue to glue my heel back on. But we ended up ending because I remember him being like, "Oh, you're dressed like you're so dressed up," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, like I don't know. I want to dress up and whatever." Really? And he goes, "But you don't need to. And you told me you didn't want to fit in with like that crew." And it literally like started a riff in our relationship that was forming because I was trying to be somebody without even trying to be somebody I wasn't and I didn't want to be. And that gave him like a little bit of the ick. Yeah. I gave him the ick by trying to dress up and being someone I wasn't. And I wasn't comfortable in my skin.
Yep.
Cute.
Oh my gosh, that's a good example.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know. Just thinking about all the things that relationships that I've done probably not right. Just be yourself too.
Yeah.
Like we should maybe talk about that. We were going to start with it. We flipped our episode backwards now, but like
I have
sorry.
I have
go ahead.
one more that she was saying about, well, like, cause you were saying, I had like two thoughts and I'm like trying to remember them. No, you were saying, like right away, if you were to just meet someone and you want to say how you feel, whatever. But if you're like randomly, maybe you're just in a friend group and you don't want to like tell them exactly how you feel quite yet, I think it is important, especially if you're like kind of friends, to not be like, "Hi, I like you, like can we get married?" Like don't tell them exactly how you feel, obviously, in that situation.
Yeah, that's
you can tell them
aggressive.
how you feel if you're in a relationship, if you're like almost there's a label there, right? But I think there is a tactic to like, if it's a friend group situation and you're like, "Hey, I really like this guy," but you're still trying to play it kind of cool. I do think you kind of have to play it cool and not freak him out right away by being like, "Hey, like I really like you," and blah 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 blah. Like give them the flirtatious cues first. See how they respond. Do the little leg hold. Like maybe you're at like a club with all your friends and it's a group thing and everyone's like fist pumping in the dance floor. You're like, "This is stupid."
This
You're
life.
like, "This is stupid. I want to go dance with him." Maybe like do something, make an isolated movement. Like you go up there, you flip it around, you quick do a few grinds on his pee-wee, and then you dancing with him for a little bit, give him a little attention, and then walk away. Like see his expression, see how he responds to those situations, and then you can kind of move in from there to see the situation. Because I just know a lot of people,
I like this.
A lot of people wrote in about like, okay, well, we're friends, don't want to ruin it. Like,
well,
read the room, give the cues, see how they respond.
If they're talking to you about somebody that they're seeing, that's a read the room situation. Like they're probably not thinking about you in that way because they're talking to you about someone they're thinking of.
Or they're making you jealous, but more than likely.
Sometimes you can read the room on that even and be like, are they trying to make me jealous or are they actually just telling me how they like somebody else? What?
And then you could also talk about someone to them and see how they react too.
But my thing is like, if you like a friend and you don't want to ruin the friendship, then you have to decide what's worth it. Do you want to try with this person because you actually feel something? Or does it feel like something could be there because it's someone that's like kind of in a rocky, like weird situation where you don't really get to, right? It's not the same as like a dating app or going to the bars or whatever. So it's like, are you intrigued because it's kind of like you can't?
Yep.
Or do you actually want it? You get what I mean?
I've ruined a friendship.
Oh, yeah.
Big friendship, yeah.
Oh, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little close to home.
Y'all remember
Everyone
that
here remembers that. And if you don't, I would go to episodes like 1 through 10. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. No, I was just thinking about how you said at a date, like read. Or no, not at a date. You said a club. Mm-hmm. But in my brain, I was thinking about, okay. Let's just say you're on like a first date.
Yes.
And maybe he or you are a little bit nervous. Like, let the room calm down. don't read into it too much. And then that's when you kind of start like oh my God, like touching a little bit, or be like, it's so funny. I'm like, I'm glad we actually finally got together, you know, like, and that's when you're touching, then you kind of talk about it, make it light. But I urge you to read the room as you're, you know, kind of trying to be this lively self too. Is the person giving you the attention that you want back? Or are they nervous? Or are they not interested too? Because I've been on dates where I was giving a lot and they were giving like none. And my cues were going, this person really is not very interested in me. Like, this is a little uncomfortable.
But they're on a first date with you, so they have to be a little bit.
Well, yes, but I don't know. I agree. But what I'm getting to is I'm like, my feelers were off. And I'm like, I'm not enjoying myself as much as I thought I would.
The
energy wasn't clicking. And then I left and they were like, that was amazing. I can't wait to do it again. And I'm like,
what?
Why? Why would we do it again? You were not even like engaging, didn't carry the conversation. I'm sweating my ass off because I was so like, so how are you? What are you doing? Oh, great. Your mom goes where? That's awesome. You know what I mean? It was just too much.
Yes.
I don't know.
I love that. And I definitely think it's probably like that energy thing too. You can kind of feel
totally.
You can feel that right off the bat. Like if it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad.
I was just going to say, like, probably one of the craziest things that I picked up from TikTok was just girls like in the comments being like, oh my God, when he matches your energy. And I was like, like, that's just something that I'm sometimes like, oh, I just do that naturally. But like, that's something that some people don't actually do. And I think that's one of my, like, whenever I go on a date, like whatever she's giving, like I match that and then try to get it to a level. Like obviously I do sales stuff. So like I can kind of sometimes use that to my advantage of like mirroring. You mirror them until they're comfortable enough with you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like first dates, usually able to get all the information right off the bat that I need.
Honestly, I feel like all three of us are good at that, which is probably why we're good at flirting.
Very true.
I would agree with that.
Because we can read the fucking room. We can read the energy.
It's it's a pro because we're overthinkers.
Yeah.
It's a con it's a con because we're overthinkers. Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a good thing. It's a pro because I'm like, he's sitting there, he's alone, he looks a little awkward. He looks like he doesn't really want to be here.
Let's go make him have fun.
Let's see if he wants to have fun. I'm over here. He's still not giving me really the time of day. He's on his phone, holding his phone. He's kind of giving me like the totally, whatever's answers. And I'm like, got it. I'm going to leave because you're giving me weird juju. And then we leave.
And I was trying to be nice.
I was trying to be nice. And I'm not going to text him, I hope your night got better. Like, you know, like wish we could have had fun. No. But like, think about that. Some people do that because they're like, well, I'm interested in this person. It's like, no, honey. They got to be interested in you. They got to show you that you're, you know, like a little bit exciting to them, okay, before you step in and jump in and get all excited for them and do all the legwork. Like, no, thank you.
They got to work a little too. Absolutely not.
Can we talk? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just have back to the first date when you were like, fuck. Hold up.
Did you have a brain toot?
Give me 10 seconds.
We're timing you.
No, that makes her nervous. She's like, oh God, oh God.
Fucking A.
I hate that.
Back to the first date. They're on a date with you. I found it. It was back in there. On the first date, because you're on the first date, don't be afraid to flirt. Like, don't be afraid to tell people, like, oh, like, just like, you know, like, especially as a girl, maybe not as a guy, you look hot. Like, say the words, because the last thing that this Ask Kimberly was talking about was for them to be attracted to you, you have to make them feel super attracted.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, because psychologically people feel more attracted to you when they themselves feel sexy. And I feel like I totally relate to this.
I relate to that a lot.
And like, so there's so many times where girls are like, well, he's not that into me. Okay, well, did you tell him that you look good? Did you say, oh my God, you look sexy today? Like, and move on. Like, how does he even know? Like, okay, well, he's not talking. He's like playing super chill. Well, you literally have to like tell him that himself too.
Because flirting can come off as friendly. So like, I remember vividly, like flirting with somebody I liked in college. And I just felt like, oh my God, they really just are not into me. Like they're flirting back to me, like whatever, you know what I mean? And then later on, I start seeing somebody else because I'm like, I'm flirting with you. I'm giving you what I think is all the right signs, right? And I remember they got drunk, of course, because drunk feelings, sober thoughts. And they came up to me and they were like, why are you talking to him? Like, I thought you and I kind of had a thing going. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I flirted with you straight up. And he's like, you never told me that you liked me or never gave me a reason to think it was more than a friendship. And I was like, you are actually right. And I hated admitting that, but I never was like, you look really attractive, or like, I'm glad you're here, or like doing anything that's just a little bit more of like I'm hinting at that I'm I'm liking you a little bit more than just a friend, if that makes sense.
My
especially flirty
favorite
friends.
way is like if a guy's wearing a good outfit, like you look him up and down, you do that like ooh, baby, you look good. Like, I don't know, like a little flirty. And
I'm
funny.
like, oh, dang.
But the hard part, I think the
See,
hard part is
it's hard to
you do
read.
that to me
Yeah,
a
fuck
lot.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is like sometimes you like,
Yeah, that
you almost
would
have to be
that could be.
selective.
It's hard. It is hard.
If I were to do it to someone I was into, if I was to do it to someone I was into, I feel like I would like kind of like touch them and like probably give them a hug.
A tickle on the side.
I hug you too. Maybe I do flirt with you, Ben. I don't know.
I always like this is so fun because I just remember like even when Jordan and I used to do this of like when you catch eye contact like across the room or like across the bar or something and you kind of like, I remember vividly like across the loop bar and you're just kind of like, you give a little smirk or something like that and it is a total flirt. Like you're just like, okay, yeah, no, you can't growl at them or just, you got to like smile, wink a little bit, look down, and then look up and go, and go, that's just what I do. And it works every time.
So get on this shit, brah.
I have a few things to say before we do Straight Candid Moment about things we kind of talked about. It's flirting, but it's how to be you and how to get him to like you or her to like you, right? And like, and these are not like games. These are tactics, okay? And I think you had a few on here, but I wrote some.
Tickety tackets.
Excuse me, what? I wrote down, don't be overly clingy off the bat, which we kind of loosely talked about.
Please
but like,
no.
do not cling. Like, do not be like, hey, where are you? Where are you at? And then they don't text you back for 5 minutes and they're like, you come into the bar? I'm with your friends. Got you a drink.
Leave the
It's
combo
like,
first.
Whoa. Take a breath because the minute you cling, you don't know if that person had a bad cling relationship pre this. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. Don't assume that they want you to be somebody else. Like, and that's something we kind of talked to. So write that down literally right now. You are supposed to be you. That's why they're interested in you. So if you're usually a loud, psychotic person like Soph and I, don't play cool on the date in like a un-you way. Play it cool. Don't be too clingy, right? But like be your energy that you usually are. That's why you're sitting on the date with this person in the first place. Hello.
Why would you not want to be yourself anyways? We've said this so many times, but like if you're faking it, like that's not who you are, then they're going to find out.
They're going to find out.
You're constantly on edge in the relationship regardless. So like be you from day one.
What if you remind them of somebody that they didn't really like or they've been in a relationship with because you're not being you and assuming what they want? Don't be that. Don't do that. It always fails in the end. Act like you're evaluating them too because you are. Like, right? We've talked about this before on different episodes. Like, you're just as much seeing if they're a match as you are. So putting the pressure on you is actually not going to help you in the situation. And you're probably going to get a little stiff and awkward. It's like, they need to know if they like you. You need to know if they like you like them. That's like mostly important. And then don't put so much pressure on the idea of it. Just absorb the moment. Like, you put so much pressure on like, oh my God, what if he likes me? And like, what if we like go on another date or 3 and then it gets weird? It's like, take a step back. You're on date number uno, honey. You don't even really know this person deep down unless you're friends with them, but just take a breath. You don't need all that bad juju on it. Breathe, relax, have the freaking date, order the pasta because don't order the salad if you don't like to eat salad. Come on, like we know all these things. Eat on the date. If you have a little, pasta, like what's it called? Pasta ring that you talked about in your one episode. It's like, get over it. Who cares? You're human. You know what I mean? Be you. Anyway.
Be you with the pasta ring. Yep.
Yeah.
That was icky.
Oh, last one because it relates to our mom. Be decisive. If they ask you, where do you want to go? Say, I'm really in the mood to pasta or sushi right now. If you don't want to pick the actual place because of like, don't want to assume how much they want to spend, let's say, I'm really in the mood for sushi and pasta right now. So you pick.
Also have opinions.
Have an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great
like if they say something you don't agree with, say, I don't really agree with that, but I mean, like, no hard feelings, right? And make it kind of fun.
I love that.
At J. Louie.
Yeah.
I know. I was just thinking about that.
He's like, what? She's a beef gal. I'm like,
I already gotta fucking make the reservation. Like, just tell me what you want.
Beef or steak.
Beef or steak. If you don't know what we're talking about, episode 100, J. Louie was on something. In fact, he actually was. He was drinking, but he was just hilarious. He was on one. He got up there and he was he was pissed.
He told me after I was sober. I'm like, no, you weren't. He's like,
you weren't.
He goes, no, I literally was drinking water. I'm like, okay, well, you were. I don't know what's
I don't know. You sounded like an IPA, so
but I loved it.
I don't know about
okay,
that.
we had you guys write in a few questions
Yes.
regarding kind of your situationship. We have a ton, but I think we're just gonna pick like 2 or 3.
Yes.
The first one, she says, We were vibing together for a bit, and then he ghosted me for no reason, and I asked him why, and he said, I saw a future with you. Like, what does that even mean?
Okay.
You might be biased, so do you want me to go first?
I'm biased, so go ahead.
Okay, so I think he's dead ass lying to you. And he doesn't want a future with you, and that's an easy way out. Or
Okay,
at
thank
least
God.
it's wrong timing.
I was gonna say the
But-
exact same thing.
Okay.
Because
Next.
I'm sorry, don't excuse bad behavior. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, like either he's that stupid or he's lying.
Yeah.
Those are the only two options, and either
Mhm.
way, you don't want to be with either of
No.
those.
It's called a people pleaser and a gaslighter. They're trying to
Mhm.
make it your problem, basically the reason why they don't want to be with you. And what they're trying to do is make you think, okay, well, I don't want them to hate me, but I need to separate myself. I saw something with you and I just got kind of scared. It's like, no, you didn't.
No.
No, you did not. It's bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit.
Sorry. There you go.
You want to ask next?
Sure. It feels like I'm constantly thinking about him and he doesn't seem to care. I hate feeling like that. What can I do to change it? These are really hard because
Yeah. I mean, I have a thought.
I do
You're
too.
putting all your eggs in one basket.
Correct.
Number one. And also I feel like so many women are dating for marriage. Like that's all they care about. Date for marriage. Like, okay, well no, you're dating to learn about yourself. You're dating to have fun. Like don't put all your, energy, thoughts, care, like into one person when you've like,
when you're
when
still evaluating.
obviously they're not even reciprocating it, bro. Like, come on.
I know. I can just think of a time when I did this, and it's like the minute you get like this, and you're like, okay, I'm texting him a little bit more than he's texting me. Okay, we go to the bar, and I'm like, is he talking to other people? So then I'm kind of acting off, and all of a sudden you're getting obsessed, and it does not work. Like I would say, take a breath, take a step back, remove yourself from the situation a little bit more than you usually are in it, right?
And go on another date.
Yeah, go on a date with somebody else, see how you're feeling, and then be real and ask, like, hey, you're being a little distant. I can't read you, so I'd rather you just communicate with me. It might be scary, but you'd rather know.
This is funny because I just feel like douchebag devil's advocate.
I know.
Boy
Go
today.
ahead, Ben.
I disagree with the last part, but keep going.
Well, is it
Which one?
different the other way around? Like, imagine a dude wrote that about a girl.
I would love that.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, is
Yeah.
your guys' advice the same?
if it was a guy.
Okay, so if
let me
she
think.
wanted to, wait, read it again.
So it would be a guy. It feels like I'm constantly talking about her, and she doesn't seem to care. I hate feeling like that. What can I do to change it?
Oh, she doesn't like you either.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't like you.
But same plan of action. Like,
I
ignore
would
her. Go to
I
other.
would say take a step back, go on a different date, and then if you still really can't get her, get her out of your head,
Okay.
be like, I'm feeling a little bit off. I don't really think this is going anywhere,
Yeah.
so I just want to respect your space. See you later. Bye.
Okay, but now if you were the girl and let's say we're dating Ben. And
Hi, Ben.
Hey Ben. So Ben, we're like, okay, I'm dating Ben. We're just gonna that's getting too complicated.
easy way,
We're
yeah,
not
yeah.
threesome yet.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay, I'm seeing Ben and you're really into me and I'm not like reciprocating it. So you're like, okay. And I secretly did like him a little
Yeah.
bit and he went on another date. Girls freak the fuck out.
Oh yeah, you're too
Girls freak the fuck out. So I think if it was switched as a guy, it's your responsibility to ask the question that's to like communicate like, hey, I don't know if like the energies are matching or like if you feel the same way, but this is how I feel. See what she says. But I was just gonna, if it's the other way as a girl, like I don't know if I would ask that question to a guy. I'd just be like, okay, fuck you, and like move on, see, and like play a little game. Which
I'd probably still ask. I think it's a
good,
situation
though.
for me is the same because I'm
Yeah.
just like, you know what, like this is not worth my time.
Yeah.
Like if you're not into me, like fine, but can we have a conversation
That's a smart
and
way.
then bye?
Yeah, I think the conversation, because I had something like that over the summer where I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, we went on a date, went well, she was like, I want another one. I kept throwing stuff out. She just kept like kind of shutting it down or like whatever. And I was just like, hey, I need that reciprocation or like I'm gone. She was like,
Good.
honestly, I'm just looking for a guy to chase me all summer. And I was like, that's not
You're
me.
like, peace. That's great. And
I'm
also, when you're reading all these situations, like, how can you think in your brain like maybe this is good? This is gonna be good. Like it's like
Yeah.
if it's already complicated, it's probably not a good sign.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We have to read the top one because I feel like so many people need to hear this one right
Yep.
now, even though we say it over and over again.
She says, if he wanted to, he would, but he works all the time. What's the line between he would and he can't?
Baby girl, baby girl.
If he wanted
Ben is gonna
to.
say something. I know, but Ben, you're a good communicator. So let me do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna give my opinion first on the what I think it is side. If he's just like, yeah, sorry, I'm so busy. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm so busy, and he's not making an effort to see you, and he's not giving you anything. Like, I'm so busy, but I promise you I want to see you next week. I'm going to leave Wednesday open for you. Or like something just a little bit over the effort of like, I'm so busy. I can't. I work a lot, blah, blah, blah.
Shit's just coming up. Cancels.
Get the hell out of there, run. Because you know what? His time for you is this much, and his time for work is this much, and then his time for other hoes is probably a little bit bigger than that.
And it's also just going to get worse.
Yeah, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben, because you're a good communicator, so I'm like, shit.
Well, I think it's so funny. I remember one of my friends in college, she was like, yeah, I'm seeing this guy. I'm really into him. But like, he's an entrepreneur and he keeps saying like, oh, I just like don't have time for a girlfriend. I'm like, bitch, he's lying to you.
Yeah.
Like when I was in college.
He's got time to fuck.
Exactly.
Ooh.
I was running like my own business. Like if you're into it, you'll make time for it. Like any girl, like right now would be probably the worst time for a girl to come into my life. But if the right girl came in my life, like I would make it work. Like I would plan around it. So like if he's not willing to, this goes back. I've always said like you have to have self-respect for yourself when you're pursuing something.
Yes.
And the second that respect gets hurt or like there's something where you're like, I'm not getting the respect that I deserve. You have to have like the oomph to just be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm out. Next one.
Love
that's
that.
good.
And I remember like we're always fucking busy, right? I remember when I started dating Pat, I would tell you guys I'm leaving at 6 because I'm gonna go hang out with Pat.
Have a date, yeah.
I have a date. I canceled things to make time because I wanted to get to know him and I really liked him. Like you will make time. And even if you're like, well, he's night shifts, like, no, girl, like he would.
I've just been there. And like, even right, you know, when someone's leaving you're like, I'm leaving for a trip for like 3 weeks. I'm going to be gone. Like, can I see you before I go? And they're not making an effort. And there's like 5 days until you leave. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to squeeze it in. It's like, take the hint. That's a lot of time right there. Like that. And it sucks that I have to say that to you right now. And it sucks that you have to hear it from me. But have some self-respect for yourself and know what you deserve. Because, God damn it, I wish I would have back then. Oh, God, in the old days. You know what I mean?
Okay, we are supposed to be somewhere in 3 minutes. So let's
know.
pretend that we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so I have a little trick in a moment.
Because I'm going to buy you a drink, you know what I'm saying? And I just keep thinking about them sweet potato fries.
I keep thinking about them chas carrots.
Red Cow, so good, y'all.
Okay, you guys. So this person said something really, really nice about us, but I have no time, so I can't read it. But I love you guys. And then it says,
listener, straight can a moment.
Yep. Hashtag straight can a moment. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 10 years now. One day I'm at my boyfriend's house playing video games while he was at work. I love that. That's kind of savage. I was eating some peanut butter crackers, and of course my throat goes completely dry. So I immediately try and go for the closest drink next to me. And I see on my side of the bed, I still had my pink lemonade drink from the Firehouse Subs last night. I grab it.
No.
Listen. I grab it and I drink it so fast, but as I was sucking the straw, getting to the bottom of the cup, I realized something unusual was clogging the straw. I also tasted a little off, so I took the lid off and looked down at the bottom of the cup, and there was a used condom. I was trying to keep my composure and not gag or throw up. Then I realized that my boyfriend most likely put the used condom in my cup last night after we had sex. I eventually brought it up to my boyfriend later, and that night he said he just died laughing and agreed that he definitely did put it in there. Hashtag straight candid moment.
Oh my God.
You know
what? I was like, it's not going to be like vodka. I immediately thought it's going to be fucking
It's going to be
cum.
Oh my God.
I thought it was going to be cum, but I thought he jacked off into a cup, but the condom is even.
Can you imagine? You're like, oh my God, a little lemonade. Oh, that's weird. It's kind of clogged.
I can't even.
It's a condom.
I can't even do it when it's straight out of the hose. Like,
oh God. I know, me too. I gag. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
But when it's sitting there and marinating and getting saltier.
And I think condoms smell so bad.
They
They
do.
smell so. How did she not like smell or taste that like latex?
You're thirsty. Also, we've all choked on peanut butter. Like you're like, oh my God, whoa,
Yeah.
I'm stuck in my throat. I need something. Like, oh, my lemonade. Oh Lord, I read that. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. That can't be real.
Funny.
It's real. Holy shite. You guys,
oh my God.
We gotta go. We gotta run. We gotta be somewhere. We love you.
Love you.
Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve if you don't hear from you. And that's all I got for you. Bye.
Bye. We're at Straight Candid Podcast. I'm at Candid Soph.
I'm at Candid Sid.
And I'm at Ben Sarbacher.
Love you guys.
Peace.
You guys.
Oh, really? You guys.
That was one of my faves. I love that.
Oh my God, you guys.
That one was like.
I read that and I'm like, oh And you're like, don't tell me. I'm like, okay,
I
well,
was-